This video is brought to you by Incogni. Today, the Middle East slides closer to all-out war. The US reacts to the vice presidential debate, and Russia has reportedly taken the Ukrainian town of Vuhledar. From TLDR News, this is your daily briefing for Wednesday the 2nd of October 2024. The situation in the Middle East is deteriorating rapidly as Israel, Iran and Iran's proxies escalate their attacks ahead of the 12-month anniversary of the October the 7th Hamas attacks on southern Israel. On Tuesday night, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu warned that Israel will retaliate against Iran after Iran fired a barrage of around 180 missiles at central Israel in response to the assassinations of senior Hezbollah and Hamas leaders. In a televised address, Netanyahu said Iran made a big mistake and it will pay for it. The Israeli military said there were no casualties from Iran's attack, as Israel's Iron Dome defense system carried out a number of interceptions, whilst one death was reported in the Palestinian city of Jericho, where a man was struck by debris from an intercepted missile. Many analysts have now begun to state that the Middle East has entered an all-out war. Over the past 2 weeks, Israel has been escalating its fight against Iran's proxies in the region, including the Hezbollah militant group in Lebanon and the Houthi rebels in Yemen. On Tuesday, the IDF launched a ground offensive into southern Lebanon, bringing the total number of displaced Lebanese civilians to 1 million since last October. And last week, an Israeli airstrike also destroyed a bridge on the Lebanon-Syria border. Israel also hit a port in the Yemeni city of Vuhledar at the weekend, a day after the Houthis launched a missile strike on Israel's Ben Gurion airport. The war also risks drawing in the US, whose diplomatic efforts at resolving the conflict have failed. The US has pledged to join Israel in exacting severe consequences from Iran for its missile strike, and the Pentagon has also sent a few thousand additional troops on top of the 40,000 already stationed in neighbouring countries, plus fighter jets and attack aircraft to the region. However, Iran's foreign minister has warned US forces to withdraw from this matter and not to intervene. Military analysts have pointed out that the consequences of an all-out war are unknown, but are likely to bring about severe economic, geopolitical and humanitarian shocks. Governments around the world are urging restraint, with UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer condemning Iran's strikes in the strongest terms, and German Chancellor Olaf Scholz saying that Iran risks setting the whole region on fire. There's more on the way, but remember to subscribe and ring the bell for more daily briefing tomorrow. Plus, if you want to support the channel like Eric Jan's Branco, then consider joining the TLDR Daily Membership Programme for just $1.99. Now for an update from the US presidential election. On Tuesday evening in New York, the two US vice presidential candidates went head-to-head in the only vice presidential debate of the 2024 campaign. Republican Vice President candidate J.D. Vance and Democratic VP candidate Tim Walz debated issues including the conflict in the Middle East, climate change, immigration, abortion, guns, as well as a host of other topics. Donald Trump's running mate Vance came out strongly and attacked Kamala Harris and Joe Biden on foreign policy, claiming that the world was more peaceful under Trump. Vance also attacked the Biden-Harris administration on immigration, arguing that the current policy was leading to the US-Mexico border crisis as well as soaring housing costs. Vance then denied that he supported an abortion ban, instead stating that he supported a national standard, and also refused to state that Donald Trump lost the 2020 election, opting to say that he was focused on the future. Whilst Walz had a shaky start to the debate, he did regain his footing to argue that Trump killed a bipartisan immigration deal that was agreed to earlier this year, and made an emotional appeal to voters by talking about a woman in Georgia who died due to the lack of abortion care in the state. He defended his visit to China as a teacher, stating that he was educating students, and admitted that he misspoke when he said that he was there for the Tiananmen Square protests in 1989. He also suffered a bad gaffe, saying he was friends with school shooters, whilst talking about his relationship with gun violence victims. In contrast to previous debates between Trump, Biden and Harris, this one was largely civil, with Vance and Walz agreeing with one another several times and generally choosing not to attack each other directly. According to a CNN instant poll, 51% of viewers thought that Vance won, while 49% thought that Walz won. A CBS poll gave similar results, with 42% siding with Vance, 41% siding with Walz, and 17% saying neither candidate won. Historically though, VP debates don't tend to affect presidential campaigns, so this likely won't change the dynamics between Trump and Harris. Moving to Ukraine now, where Russian forces have today claimed to have taken the key town of Vuhledar. Fighting in the city, which is located in eastern Ukraine, started back in 2022, although Russian troops have so far been unable to take it. The city is essential to the Russian war effort, as capturing it allows them to advance further north and reach the transport hubs of Kurakhov and Pokrovsk. Earlier this year, one of the largest tank battles yet took place in Vuhledar. Russia were unsuccessful in this. This time, though, it seems that Russia has significantly changed their tactic and tried to advance along the flanks around the city to surround it. In order to do this, Russian forces captured the village of Prejistivka in the west and Vodiane to the east last month, helping them to fully encircle the city. This is, in fact, one of Russia's favourite tactics in the war. Moving to our final uplifting story now, where a BBC journalist live blogged his own wedding. Now, in order to celebrate 100 years since the first wedding took place at Old Marylebone Town Hall, the venue gave 100 couples the opportunity to wed one another for just £100. Among the couples was Thomas McIntosh, an award-winning journalist at the BBC, and his fiancée Paige. Prior to the event, Thomas said, as part of his report for the BBC, that, as it happens, I'm one of the couples getting married today, and as part of the coverage, I've been speaking to many others doing the same. Later on, the live blog showed an update from Thomas, who is described as a live reporter at his own wedding, stating, "I do." Similarly, a news banner on the video feed of the event showed, "Breaking, the BBC's very own Thomas McIntosh is now a married man." We wish Thomas and the other couples at their ceremony well in their marriages. Now, as we've demonstrated in this video, there's a huge amount of uncertainty in the world of politics and current affairs, often with few easy solutions. Unfortunately, this can be the case online too. There are all kinds of bad actors out there that want to try and use you to make a quick buck. Take, for instance, data brokers. They collect, aggregate, and sell your personal information, including names, aliases, social security numbers, login credentials, home addresses, location history, online activity, and more to the highest bidder. This can result in everything from spam to identity theft. Luckily for you, though, there is a solution: Incogni. They work on your behalf to request your personal data removal. They also deal with any objections, and to make sure that your personal information isn't shared by the brokers again, conduct repeated removal requests. And with their family and friends plan, they'll even do this for you and up to 3 of, well, your friends and family. So, create an account with our link in the description. Grant Incogni the ability to work on your behalf, and sit back as they make you safer. Plus, by using our link, you'll get an exclusive 60% off an annual Incogni plan. Thanks for checking it out, and thanks to Incogni for sponsoring this video.